to Crazy Town AVP, folks. That's right. We're back, and we're back for good. Today, we'll be talking about EV cars in the country. Yeah, we'll be talking about most popular brands that are available right now for you to purchase, like from today. You can literally go right into, I'll be leaving links to each company's website effectively for you to just go and take a look at their models, what they're providing, how much they go for, whether or not you can purchase these on credit or whatever. By the way, I'm not affiliated with any of these cars or brands, or they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just telling you guys I'm just giving you guys an objective overview on what I think is a worthwhile buy, what I think is a trash kind of buy, and some of the overpriced EVs out there. All right, let's start off with the first one. Up on the list, we've got Eevee Africa. That's right. This company right here is actually a South African EV manufacturer or EV brand, and they've positioned themselves to sort of help out one of those people who are just trying to get into the EV space. Their mission is really clear. They're not trying to, build the most luxurious EV out there. So they're like a very unique sort of company. But in any case, their baseline model starts from 239,990 Rand. You're looking at about $15,000 effectively for an EV car. And that's dead cheap according to international standards or international markets. But this car right here is not cheap. I'll tell you why. Because its fuel counterpart costs just as much. Has got more speed, is providing more torque power onto the wheels. It's got more power going into the engine. You've got 0 to 100 k's an hour on this car in about, there is no 0 to 100 k's an hour because the maximum top speed of this car is 80 kilometers per hour. Max top speed, guys? I think you already know what my verdict is about this car. Trash, don't buy, wasted. You will be wasting your money buying this car. 80 k's an hour. Again, if you're somebody looking to buy a car that's going to get you by around the inner city or around the city, this car is really not your car. If you are planning on driving around your golf course or your estate, feel free to get this car. Be my guest. But again, not for daily use. It's strictly getting from one part of the golf course to the next. It's literally a golf cart. It looks like a golf cart, shaped like a golf cart. Perhaps their market should be golfers, in my opinion, who are just looking around to get by around the golf course. Anyways, maximum charging speed, also unknown, but it takes about 4 to 6 hours to charge. Don't buy this. Just skip. Second up on the list is the GWM Ora Cat car. Now, this car, I've been seeing a lot of it actually on the road. It's a really decent buy, but it only starts from 500,000 Rand, which is actually, no. It starts just over 500,000 Rand. I'll tell you the price just now. So the price of this car is coming in hot at 686,950. This is the baseline model, by the way, right? It's got an engine power of 126 kilowatt hour or 250 newton meters, 0 to 100 k's an hour in 9.3 seconds. So it's really not going to be that quick on the accelerator if you are looking for a sports kind of car. This is not going to be it. You're better off getting your Suzuki Swift with this money if you're looking for a tiny sports car, but it's not going to be electric. Anyways, moving on, the range of this is up to 501 kilometers. Now, I have to say, just quick pause on that, up to 501 kilometers. This is actually quite a massive range. To give you perspective, from Joburg to Cape Town, you're looking at about 100, just over 1,000 actually, kilometers of distance. This right here can travel half of that with one full charge. It's quite decent for a small car like this, actually. Ora, well done, Ora. All right, we also got the maximum charging speeds in this. Actually, we've got about 60 kilowatt of DC power actually, and 6.6 kilowatt of AC power. Anyways, up next we've got the BYD Atto 3 model. This is a fully functional SUV. Now, BYD, guys, let me tell you, BYD is one of my favorite EV makers out there. Why? Because they strike a good balance between price and the product. Price and product. They've just found a really good balance. Like right now, this car right here, this is better than a Tesla Model S or Model 3 or Model X, Y, B, D, Z. Whichever Tesla model. I'm still a Tesla fanboy, by the way. Through and through, day after day, day by day. Tesla, all the way. But we also now have BYD coming into the game. And what they've done with their cars is quite revolutionary. Just get this. This, by the way, the Tesla Model 3 right now in South Africa is going for about 2.3 million rand. This car right here, better than the Tesla Model 3, more spacious, more technologically advanced, more newer. This right here has got an engine power of 150 kilowatts and 310 Newton meters of torque. Let me just swallow my pride pill there for a second as a Tesla fanboy and say, yeah, please buy this car. That's not all. This car right here, this vehicle right here, does 0 to 100 k's an hour in in 7.3 seconds. I almost said 2.3 there. Almost overselling BYD. Anyways, it's got a range of up to 345 kilometers. Now, the only downside about this car is the range, but in and of itself, it's a really great buy. Of course, the Ora has got more range, but this car beats the Ora in every other category except for the range category, unfortunately. But I would still suggest, if you're looking for like a family sort of car that's electric and you're looking to get by around the city, you can still get by with this. But if you're looking for still like a small size family sort of vehicle, then please go for the Ora, because it's got more range, especially if you want to drive it around the country endlessly. Okay, next up we've got the Mini Cooper SE. Now this is the junkyard of EVs. Mini Cooper fuel version, up there, premium, okay. All right, any day, go for the Mini Cooper. But if you're gonna buy the Mini Cooper in the EV space, fam, I don't know who in their right state of mind right now would get this car. But just bear with me here for a little while, right? The engine power on this is 135 kilowatts. It's got a torque of 217 newton meters. It does 0 to 100 in 7.5 seconds. Now, if you recall the previous figures I read on the 803. Let me just continue reading up. The range on this thing is 234 kilometers. Yeah, so the previous car, and by the way, this one is more expensive. This is coming in hot at 783,500 rand. That's a lot of money already. My mind is just shutting down on Mini Cooper. Like, I don't know what you got Mini Cooper. If anybody driving a Mini Cooper is listening to me right now, please don't buy the EV counterpart to your car. Just stick with your fuel version. Just don't even come here. Just stick with your fuel baby, okay? Mini Cooper, premium up there. But when it comes to EV, scrapyard, guys. Junkyard, garbage quality, and they need to do better than this, honestly, in my opinion. Up next, we've got a brand you possibly don't know about, never heard of it before, but they're coming in hot in the South African EV market, EV space. We're talking about none other than the SAIC Maxus T90. Yeah, it's a double cab car, or rather a pickup truck for my American friends. This car is giving me nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like, it's giving me nostalgia. I don't know who in their right state of mind will buy this, but just bear with me here a little bit. So this right here has got an engine power of 148 kilowatts with 310 newton meters of torque. The same, basically. It's sort of an equivalent, torque-wise to the BYD Atto that I've just mentioned a couple of seconds back. Do a rewind. Listen to that properly, okay? Actually, if you're at this point of the video, you might as well just subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, like, share with your friends and family, okay? Just be part of the AVP Crazy Town gang. Not gang, community, all right? We're not community, guys, please. Okay, let's behave ourselves. This car does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 12.3 seconds. It's got a range of up to 330 kilometers. For these specifications here, I would not recommend you buying this unless you really are adamant about buying a twin cab or a bucky electric car, which Nobody in the Bucky space would get this. It's complete junk to them. Like, I'm telling you, this is disrespect to the Bucky community, the Afrikaans community, the Bucky's book, but, okay? Not book. Wow. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Moving on, we've got the Volvo XC40. That's right. Volvo has been in the EV space for a while now, and they've introduced actually quite a couple of these models, the XC40, the XC30, as well as the XC60 fully electric cars. But I'm going to focus more on the XC40 right here. The rechargeable starts from 1.1 also million rand, just a little bit more expensive than the Maxus that I just spoke about seconds ago. It's got a little bit more power on the engine. We've got about 175 kilowatts of power from the motor, and we've got about 330 newton meters of torque from the single motor, by the way. There's no dual motor here or tri-motor or quad motor, but it's just a single motor powering this vehicle. That probably explains why it's not that expensive, I guess, but it does 0 to 100 in about 7.9 seconds, which is decent. Not wow, but it's decent. But here's where I'm sold. It's got a range of about 423 kilometers. Now, when it comes to range, it's how far the car or the vehicle can go, right? This is almost 500 Ks right here, which means it's almost half the distance from Joburg to Cape Town relative, right? Because the distance from Joburg to Cape Town is about 1,000 kilometers, give or take, right? Or 1,002, again, give or take. Would I recommend you buy it? I don't know who this car is for, because again, if you're looking, because it's quite small. Again, if you're really looking for something small to get by, I would still go back to the Ora, the GWM Ora. I just think it's just the best out of these ones over here that I've just mentioned. But then you also have the BYD just up above that, which provides you with more specs. But then again, the Ora beats the BYD when it comes to range. So yeah, rather than spending something over R1,000,000, you could just simply get the Ora, which is just way under R1,000,000, and save yourself a bit of cash to get by around the city. But if you are brand oriented or you're just brand biased, like you really want to stick to Volvo, then this is your baby. Actually, I would not even recommend the XC40. I would suggest you go for the XC30, which is the younger brother of this guy right here, the XC40. All right, let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I think I've said the word Volvo way too many times. Then I wish I did. Anyways, we've got now my favorite brand, my favorite car brand. I'm going to be a little bit biased here, but I'm still going to be objective. The Mercedes-Benz EQA. That's right. This car is on a class of its own in terms of design. Now, I know I didn't speak about design with the other cars because I just didn't like how they look like just all of them. Maybe BYD Ora looks like a frog. Like BYD though, the 803, it looks Chinese, right? I mean, your Havals, your Amadas, BYD vibe, guys, BYD vibe. Anyways, we've got now Mercedes-Benz here. Oh, Volvo as well. They do well with design when it comes to their cars or EVs. But really, this one is the most striking, visually, car to look at, Eevee in this list of cars that I've just given you now. But let's dive deep into whether or not its design sort of speaks to its functionality. All right, the first thing, we've got about 140 kilowatts of motor power coming from this engine motor right here. And we also have 385 newton meters of torque, generated by the same motor. We then also have 0 to 100 kilometers an hour on this car at 8.9 seconds. Now, let me just talk a little bit to this. The reason why it's so slow. I think the reason why it's slow, the acceleration is not too quick, or it's a bit junky. It's because Mercedes is a luxurious brand. They're focusing more on luxury here. Now, again, I did say I was going to be a little bit biased here, but I don't want to say functionality because I think it's quite a functional car. I actually was meant to be doing a review on this exact same car because I saw it once in Mall Africa, but I decided not to touch it or do like any reviews on it. I just literally just left it as it was. Let's talk a little bit about the price for the Mercedes-Benz EQA. This car will set you back a good 1,176,350 Rand. Now, it's a little bit on the more expensive side, but again, you're buying luxury here. It's Mercedes-Benz we're talking about. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next brand is a competitor, actually, to Mercedes-Benz, and we're talking another German car brand or German manufacturer, and this is the BMW iX1. Now, the counterpart to this BMW X1 is iX1 is actually the BMW X1, which is smaller. Obviously fuel, not electric. But I get why now this is coming in hot at a very hefty price of 1.2 million Rand BMW. Anyways, we then have here an engine power for about 230 kilowatts and 494 newton meters of torque. This car does 0 to 100 k's an hour in 5.6 seconds. This, by the way, is the fastest car in this lineup of vehicles I just told you about acceleration-wise, right? So, yeah, if you're looking for something fast, quick, and you have the money to afford it, this is for you right here. It's not obviously it's competing right up there with the EQA actually from Mercedes, but this one here gives you that speed, it gives you that raw power, it gives you comfortability and the luxurious sort of feel as well inside the car, because the interior looks just as good as it does outside. All right, let's move on to the range. The range of this car, you can drive it all the way up to 440 kilometers actually. Yeah, off range. So yeah, again, halfway through Cape Town. Same thing as the EQA, so really there's no difference there. But again, between this and the Mercedes, you want to go for the BMW if you care much about acceleration, but if you care much about longevity of your car and indicators working properly, you probably want to go down to Mercedes, just down the road from BMW. Okay, sweetheart? Thank you. But the last one here is going to be, again, the car that sucks when it comes to manufacturing EVs. This is BMW, the iX3. It's got an engine power of 210 kilowatts, 400 newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 106.8 seconds, and we've got a range here of about 460 kilometers. Why is it more expensive? Again, I think it's because of the premium that comes with the brand. So yeah, that's why it's more expensive. Anyways, other than that, I will leave it there for now, you guys. Let's move on to part 2 of delving and diving deep into EVs you should be on the lookout for in South Africa, and which ones to avoid, which ones to buy. And there is, by the way, guys, there's everything for everybody. Just always remember that there's everything for everybody. Subscribe, like, share this with your parents, share this with your tycoon friends, share this with with friends that do want to get into the EV space and actually own an EV car in this market, in this day and age, with the problems. Actually, we don't have load shedding as much as we should be right now, so this is really probably a good time for you to start looking into getting yourself an EV car. All right, that's just about it from my end. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. AVP, it's been great hosting you guys. I shall see you guys when I see you guys.